hello. It's your girl Yo-Yo, and I am back. We are back live with Let's Grow with Yo-Yo. Hey, Insta, Facebook, YouTube, how is everyone doing tonight? I pray all is well. I hope you had a great summer thus far. This year has gone by really quickly. We are in September. It is the first Tuesday of September, and I'm excited a little bit. I have traveled a little bit. I have rested, got some things going in motion for business and little other things going on. But I am back and I am ready. Y'all ready? I hope you are ready to go and learn a little something and everything. But first, let's do this. If you can, go to Instagram. It's Yo-Yo7393001. Like and share it. Facebook, Let's Grow with Yo-Yo. And YouTube, Let's Grow with Yo-Yo. Subscribe and like, y'all. Let's get this thing popping. Okay? Great. I hope you all are ready, and we are gonna dive in. Okay, tonight we are talking about children with disabilities and how it impacts their lives and everything. Backstory: the reason why I chose this topic is because my daughter actually has a disability. I have a nephew that has what's it called? I don't want to pronounce it wrong. It's called Adam, like Adam, but an E, Adam. And then I also have a cousin that is autistic. So this is very dear to me, and how things and how it shows in our society and how people treat them and everything. So let's go with our Did You Know in Black History. I hope y'all didn't think that I was not going to do a Did You Know in Black History. Your girl is always going to do Did You Know how Black History. Now let me put my specs on because I need to see what I'm doing. All right. Did you know in Black History is Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler, born February 1831. Dr. Crumpler was born in Delaware and raised by her aunt, who was in a community, predominantly poor neighborhood, and she served as like a doctor, a nurse per se, to help the individuals get care that they needed. So this is why is that doing that? How did it happen? So this is something that she was proud of. In 1852, she moved to Charlestown, Massachusetts, where she worked as a nurse, and then she applied and was accepted to the New England Female Medical College. This is a big deal because Dr. Crumpler was the first African American female with a medical degree. And she was the only Black woman to attend the school at that time. She graduated in 1864 and began practicing in Boston. That was from 1861 to 1865, when she moved to Richmond, Virginia. Dr. Crumpler worked for the Freedom Bureaus to help provide medical care to freed slaves. She died in 1865. That is your Did You Know in Black History. That was amazing to me to learn that the Black people do the doggone thing. We are historic and doing things for our community. And that is very important to me. All right, here we go. Children with disabilities. How many of you know that the maltreatment of disabled children is a public health issue? That's according to American Academy of Pediatrics. Disabilities or special health care needs. This includes physical, mental, or emotional impairments. These children are 78% likely to be mistreated by their peers, that the ones that go to school, mistreated by family members. Doctors don't know, in the early days, didn't know what to do with them or anything like that. So this is crazy. So my daughter has what's called a learning intellectual disability, meaning that you can talk to her, you can communicate with her, however, she has it takes her a minute to process what you are trying to say. And once she does get it, she then goes, and it's going to take her a minute to articulate back your response. She has gotten better with it over the years. However, she still struggles with it day to day. She is in college. So what we did was get her a recorder to where she can record her teachers, her instructors. And that way she can go back and play it over and over and over again until she can comprehend fully of what they were saying. And then she can go into doing her academic work. She is what they call it, high school or IEP, but what she does in college is called a disability acting. There's a form you fill out. They do the accommodations for the students in class, which is really no accommodations to me. Is that she's able to bring a recorder, which all students bring a recorder, but she does have ample time to do her testing. Instead of being timed like everyone else, she is actually put off to the side and tested and given a longer period to get her studies under control and what they actually need and from her to get it right. And sometimes she needs a proctor there to read to her so she can understand what is being said, because you can't have a tape recorder. Read her the questions. This way she can articulate to herself on what is going on. Now, my nephew has ADEM. ADEM is called the acute disseminated, and I don't know, it starts with an E, encephalitis. This attacks the inflammation in the brain and spinal cord and all the protective coverings of nerve fibers. Any other time he is fine. He's well. He very smart, very intelligent little young man. Can't call him a little boy no more. But when he gets overheated, sometimes that happened. He wound up in the hospital, I want to say, for almost a month because this ADEM, it damaged something in his brain and in his spinal cord to where he lost control, right? So that's one. Then I have a cousin that's autistic, and he's on that spectrum. He is very smart and intelligent, but again, he has his own way of processing things, and he's an introvert, a very closed off person. Now, each one of these disabilities, and you have MS, you have children with the brittle bone disease. My daughter had a girlfriend who had that, where she had to wear a body brace because anything could have broke her bones. And all this stuff is watching these children or learning about them or talking to my sister and my cousin, and even with my own child, talking to these children, their parents, and you see how it affects them somewhat, right? I know my daughter used to talk about how when she was in school, the kids used to talk about her. They called her slow. They called her retarded. And it took a toll for a minute because it affected her because she felt like she wasn't good enough. So with me, I tried to reiterate to her that she is better than good enough. She can do anything that she sets her mind to it. She just has to say, a little longer than most children. That doesn't mean she's special. Now, let me tell you, I had an incident when she was in college, Lord have mercy. When she was in high school and we were doing an art. That's when you sit down with the teacher, the the special education people, the uh counselor, her, and the parent, and an assistant principal. And so we had the art, and I remember the lady telling me that my daughter was retarded. First of all, my daughter isn't retarded. Let me just say that to everybody else. Just because she didn't do certain things or knew certain things at that time wasn't retardation. They did a test at that time. I think she was like in the 6th grade. She was reading on a 3rd grade level. Um, it's just her reading. She needs people to read to her instead of read it herself. She can't really, her mind is not, it can't grasp how to put it into perspective. So anyway, we was at this art, and the lady had said she is retarded. Now, as a parent, you are like, wait, what? And she was like, well, her reading scores, this and the other. I said, first of all, in your professional opinion, that should never come out your mouth. Nobody wants to hear their child be called retarded. My child isn't retarded. Hi, Pastor Keisha Morris. How are you? My daughter wasn't retarded, and I went off a little bit. I took her out of that environment and put her into an environment to where she can learn that people, I don't want to say cater to her, but pushed her into doing better in school and everything. Hey, Supreme, I see you up there on Insta. Pushed her to where she could do in school. Now, when you have teachers and facilitators, that's what they're called, that know different types of disabilities, that are willing to help children with disabilities, you will see your children thrive, right? They wanted to put her what is called a skilled learning environment, which is they teach her how to wash dishes, they teach her how to iron. I'm like, she needs education. She needs to know how to read. She needs to know how to do all that. But they said they will keep her back a year if she did not go into that skill. Well, guess what? Keep her back a year, right? Keep her back a year, and that way she can get the actual push that she needs to progress. I kept her back a year. Now the same lady wanted to, and where we are, they cover certain schools. Did not know that she wanted to come into that school that following year, and she wanted to be in the same person. She redid her tone when it came to my daughter's disability, because I actually took my daughter to a professional who specializes in children with learning disabilities. I got the whole printout for the school. The school adjusted their thing. They gave her more time for homework assignments, classroom assignments, testing. They also did resources where someone came into the classroom and to sit with her when she took testing to learn how to, I say, function. Even now to this day, we still have to sometimes push my daughter into doing stuff. One thing I can say about all this, ADAMS, autistic children, children with learning disabilities, they don't like change. Even with the girl with the brittle bone disease, Ashley was her name. They don't like change. They don't like being forced into other environments. Changes throws them all off, right? For instance, my cousin is his first year in college. He lives in the dorm. He's not used to the change. However, he has to learn how to deal with people outside of the family And the only way to do that is to put him in environments. However, he does have God, what is it called? Someone who comes and checks on him, make sure he's okay. That's right, Pastor Morris. And so with my daughter, we have a specialist that calls her once a week or emails her once a week to check on her to see if she has questions. If she does, they do the whole tutoring thing. They go over things for her via Zoom. Everything is Zoom. I really don't do the whole in-person thing no more. So to help her progress where she is in her second year of college. Second year of college. I am ecstatic because she did not allow her disability to control her. Brittany says, I can't do anything without real knowing. Well, I felt, yes, right. So you can't, listen now. I tell my daughter all the time, she knows it. If you walk out the house, you gotta know where you're going. Because any change in her environment, she don't like. If I go out of town, she gonna call me 50, 11 dozen times to make sure I'm okay. I'm not doing this. And all that. It's the processing thing when it comes to her. It's the whole process. My mom is not here. Let me make sure that she's okay. Let me not do this. Now she has friends, right? I'm more worried about now because of her having friends and she is the age that she is, that people won't, because of her disability, that they'll try to take advantage of her. Pastor says, that's awesome. I'm proud of her progression. Thank you, Pastor. Let me tell you something. One thing I said I would never do is treat my daughter like she has a disability. I didn't want my dad to treat her that way. Her cousins, her father, my daughter. Nobody treats her like she has a disability. We know she has a disability, right? But she drives. She goes to the up to Walmart like it's it's the next best thing, and go spends money like she don't know how to just keep money in her pocket. She drives that down the GPS. She learned how to do that to put stuff so she could get to where she got to go because she don't like depending on nobody. Brittany says, I taught my baby well. Girl, hush. And I have to thank my daughter, my oldest daughter, because if she was an intricate part of my daughter's learning ability. Because listen, at one point in time, I was like, didn't have the patience. I was like, I did not know exactly how to help her until I sat down with a specialist. And I said, from this day forward, I'm gonna make sure she do her thing. Now, yes, there's times I have to reiterate with her about when it comes to finances. And that's what I say, people take advantage of people with disability. Like my nephew that's in college, he's autistic. People treat them so differently. Now he's a functioning one. He goes to school, he can speak, he plays basketball, all that, right? Those to me are high functioning people with children with disabilities. But then we go back to the other children who really who are worse off, or whose parents don't want nothing to do with them. They don't care if they go to school. They don't care because of their disability. However, I feel that this is something that our society as a whole, we need to start talking about it more, start thinking about it more, and start treating these children like they can accomplish anything that they set their mind to it. There was another, I can't think of the little girl name, that had a disability. She was in a wheelchair. I follow her on, is it Instagram? Honey, she does music videos. She be out there talking and everything else. That disability didn't stop her, but she said, and she did a live, and she was talking about it, about how coming up, people always treated her like she couldn't accomplish anything, like she couldn't do nothing. They babied her, they coddled her, and that's not what she wanted. So finally, her mother decided enough is enough. They moved to a different state and started over, and where she progressed. And even though she was in a wheelchair, honey, she got a lot of friends. I got she got over 1 million followers right now on Instagram and not Twitter, what's it called? TikTok. And so I follow her on both social medias because she's funny, hilarious, and I love her style. Um, so when you have a child with disability, I used to be, and I think that's why the Lord did what He did. I used to be afraid of children with disabilities when I was in high school because I didn't know. I didn't know no better, right? I didn't know that um yeah, that's amazing, isn't it, Pastor Morris? That's I mean, I used to be like, oh, well, I don't know if I should do this, if I should do that around them. Are they going? And then now I'm gonna tell y'all this is so funny because my daughter, they wanted in transportation in high school, they wanted her to use the small bus, the short bus, the special education bus in school, like elementary, middle school, high school. My daughter, I think she rode that bus one time and she came home and said, "Ma, I don't want to ride that bus no more." And where we were, because she had to have the resources and stuff, she had to ride that bus unless we got a special permission from the school, the transportation department, and the superintendent in order for her to ride the regular school bus. Now, I advocated for my daughter, did all the paperwork that they needed to get her onto a regular school bus, and she rode a regular school bus until her senior year of high school when she drove herself to school. Because she had a car by then. So, yeah, this was a learning process. And sitting here still talking to her as she's going to school and still having to do all the things that we need to do to make sure she progress in life, that she can um do it but still ask for help when needed. Brittany says, I don't think people mean any harm when they a baby. I still catch myself when I take her out. I'll just be protective. Girl, first of all, my oldest daughter is overly protective when it comes to her. I think I am too, because I don't want people, again, to take advantage of her in the aspects of her disability. Because let me tell you something. We went out. My daughter wanted to go to a concert, and let me tell you. Oh, my earring fell out. She wanted to go to this concert, and the concert was 3 hours away. Well, and two of her friends, Tyrell, hush up. Don't blame her. I'm gonna blame Brittany. 3 hours away. I said, Jarrell, you're not driving 3 hours away. I'm going to drive you. Now, first of all, I wasn't going into the concert. I'm gonna tell you that now, because first of all, it was a Korean band. Two of her girlfriends love the band too. So they all went. Now, we was on our way to the concert. They know my daughter was a little, I don't want to say slow. They know how her attention span is and how she tries to she's a people pleaser. She doesn't like disappointing anybody. Anyway, so we stopped. They was hungry. We stopped and I sat in the car because I wanted them, they were in high school. I wanted them to go to this concert and do their thing. I was in school. So I stayed in the car and was doing homework. Anyway, they go inside and I'm like, what is taking so long? Now, their parents knew that this concert was going and it was 3 hours away. That I was taking them. Do you know they wanted my daughter to pay for their food? You have money. And Jarrell, being Jarrell, was like, okay. And sometimes I'm gonna get out the car and go inside. And when I went outside, I was like, hold on, no, she's not paying for your food. Didn't your mother give you money? Didn't your mother give you money? Yes. Well, then pay for your own food. Stuff like that irritates because they know how my daughter is. Yes, Brittany, you're overprotective, and I'm overprotective at times. Anyway, so they one of the girls like, never mind, I'll just get something when we get there. Okay, because she's not paying for your food. Your parents gave you money. Your mother's told me that y'all have money. So why would I allow my daughter to pay for your food when you have money? No, we're not doing it. So um we went to the concert, they did their thing. Pastor says, so what can we do as a society to aid in building up of our children? That's a great question. Let me tell you, for me, when I see somebody that has a disability, your first thing is don't treat them like they have a disability. They know they have a disability. They know if they have Down syndrome. They know they have a learning disability. They know their disability, but they don't need you as a society to treat them like, oh my God, they have a disability. They can't. No, they are high functioning people, except for the ones that are like bedridden or whatever. But I'm talking about these kids that go to class every day, that go to work, because you see some of them at work, you see some like my daughter driving a vehicle. Treat them like you would treat your children, your friend down the street, your whatever. They want to be treated like adults and like they are somebody, not as a coddlement or a burden to society, because they are not a burden to society. And educate yourself on their disabilities. Educate yourself on different types of disabilities. I just gave you 4 different ones: autism, the learning disability, and ADM, and the brittle bone disease. Those are the 4 that I personally have encountered with, except for the children I went to school with. I think one tell kids nothing is wrong with them. They are just special. Give them a normal life. Right. I tell my daughter she's special all the time. She's special because she drives me crazy. But if you just tell them, no, you're special, you're different than anybody else, educate yourself. Educate them. Oh, you can do it. Push them to do it. Push them to do it, to not think that they can't do anything. First of all, you can tell you, my daughter, listen, she took the driving test on the computer the first time and passed it. Come on now. And she has a learning disability. Before she took that test, she stayed home and practiced almost an hour every day. So treat them like they are functioning people of society. That's all that they want, is to be treated as though they are functioning people of this society, not like they are helpless. I'm not saying that they have times where they have to get help, but you don't have to make them feel like they can't do anything. And teach yourself about their disability. Everybody knows what a person with Down syndrome looks like. But is that person with Down syndrome, can they hold a job? Can they hold a conversation? Because a lot of them can. A lot of them, there's nothing wrong with them. Like, they're physically, yes, but they still have emotions. They still can talk. They still have sex. They are still functioning people of society. Treat them as such. Educate yourselves on anything when it comes to disabilities, and teach other people, children to be exact, to stop treating these children with disabilities as they are ill. You can't talk to them. Ill. You can't do nothing with them. Ill. You can't do this. You can't do that. That's wrong. That is wrong. They already think they can't do sometimes, so don't tell them that they can't. They can do anything, just have to work a little harder. Correct. That is absolutely correct. You have to agree. You have to allow them. First of all, that's with anybody. You have to allow them to make mistakes. right? You have to allow the children to make mistakes. And as you, as the mother, the father, the friend, the sister, the cousin, the neighbor, be like, it's okay, you made a mistake. All right, let's try this again. Let's do this again. Let's go again. Now they are already hard on themselves, right? They are already hard on themselves. So they don't need you to be hard on them too. They need you to understand, like, okay, I made a mistake. Not calling them, not treating them like a child or an invalid, but making sure that they understand that they made a mistake and they can move forward from that. For instance, I'm talking about my daughter. She tried almost every sport. Basketball. Did she play soccer? Soccer, cheerleading. I let her try everything. She ain't like none of it. Okay, but guess what she does like? Animals. That's a whole nother story. She loves animals. She wants to be a veterinarian. Guess what she going to school for? I encourage that. Now I gotta suffer with the animals in the house, but I'm willing to suffer that in order for her to make her dreams come true. Right? They did the veterinarian class where they got the little thing, and you know, that's one of her things that she had to do with the school. She had to have hours. She has to work at a clinic. She works at a clinic for hours for to get in the program, to get the experience. You find things for them that will help them. Like if you own a business, help hire people with disabilities. They ain't not wrong with them. They can fold a cloth. They can fold a shirt or some pants if you show them. Some of them can do your inventory if you show them. Some of them can write stuff out for you if you show them. Just show them, and then hire them. Teach them how to become functioning people of society. Functioning people of society. Thank you, Pastor Morris. Look, but I have to suffer with the animals in the house now. No more animals can come in my house. I'm gonna tell you that now. But yes, that's my thing with disabilities and with children with disabilities. And to see that the statistics is 78% of children with disabilities are mistreated, that is not right. That's not right. Our society has to do better. Has to do better when it comes to children with disabilities. Not just children with disabilities, children, period. But these children with disabilities are again mistreated by their parents, by their peers, their teachers. It is crazy, and we shouldn't do that to them. We should encourage them. Educate yourselves on, like, let me tell you something. Like my nephew with his ADM, I know what the heck was that. And my sister was, yo, me this, this. I was like, what is that? I looked it up. I educated myself. Okay, well, he needs to be able, you know, some stuff you can, like with his diet, you know, that helps with the function of his brain cells and all that stuff working it, and this, that, and the other. Not just medication, but your diet plays a part with that, right? The young lady with the brittle bone disease, she was born with that disease, and her mother, she had to put on this brace that she wore. But guess what? Her mother let her do normal stuff. Now, to a certain degree, she couldn't do some stuff because she would hurt herself. But her mother allowed her to. She spent the night at our house. I think they went skating one time. She went to football games with my daughter. Honey, go on, let them out. Let them out. Let them feel the need to do, like they are regular people. And guess what? They are regular people. There is nothing wrong with these children. Nothing. Right? Most people don't have patience and don't want to be bothered. It's sad. It is sad. It's sad that you have to do that. It's sad that, you know, you don't allow educators to educate children or families. I believe that our society should, when you have a child with a disability, autistic, the learning disability, there should be a support group for the families. so they can learn more about it. Learn more. I know autism, they have an autism month, but there's other children MS. There's children out here with MS. There's children out here with Down syndrome. There's children out here with the brittle bone disease. Don't ask me to pronounce the correct medical terminology because I do not know. There's children out here with ADEM. There's children out here that have what you call the cleft tongue, and their speech is off. So there's a lot of disabilities out here in this society that one, parents don't know nothing about. Google tells you things, but you have to do your research. The educators in our school system need to do better by these children with disabilities and get them the resources that they need for them to succeed in life. They need to have the resources. If we can push our government to start back with resources for children with disabilities, not just sticking them in a special education class where they don't learn nothing, because they really don't learn anything. I went into one when they wanted to put my daughter in there, and I was like, oh, no, sir, no, ma'am, and no, sir, and we're not doing it. They're not doing really anything but showing them how to, like, they had children in there that couldn't feed themselves. They weren't having diapers, that was fine. There's people, but what about the children like my daughter that can read, that she can write? What were y'all doing for her? No, not discrediting the other children, but put her in a classroom, get her the help that she needs for that class. And I got it when we get home. And if I ain't home, my oldest daughter knows, hey, you got to help her out or whatever. But believe you me, the education system for children with disability is rough. And we need more people out there that's advocating for these children and their rights. And their rights. The Workforce Commission, I'm not sure in every state, but I know here in Texas, has a section, yes, it should be in every state, has a section for people with disabilities, and they have counselors that are assigned to certain individuals that help them find jobs, help them with school. Because the lady that helped my daughter get to school, she got a laptop, an iPad for school now. This is to help her succeed in school. Paid for her uniform when she had to, to wear the scrubs and the vet thing. They have the resources. Us as parents have to push these educators and your governors and your mayors to make sure that the children with disabilities are taken care of. We have to do that for them. We owe it to them. Well, that is my show, y'all. I really appreciate all the input and everything for tonight. I just really felt the need to speak on that because I look at children with disabilities as my children, as my child. Like, that's my babies. And I'm gonna do or try to do as much as I can for the children that have disabilities because my baby has one. And that is my thing. And we need to stop teach our children not to joke on these children with disabilities, to disrespect them. I mean, yes, children are children, but teach them to be kind. Teach them that if you see someone, if they do ride the short bus, you ain't joking on them, making them feel worse than they already are, right? So thank you very much. Again, my Facebook page is Grow with Yo-Yo. YouTube is Let's Grow with Yo-Yo. Subscribe and like. And Instagram is Yo-Yo739300. Thank you, Pastor Morris. Every Tuesday, I'm here every Tuesday. I will let you know if there's anything that you could do. As a matter of fact, when I get to Atlanta, we'll talk, okay? Every Tuesday night at 7:30, we are going to be on here, and we're gonna have a whole bunch of topics. Next week, let me tell you something. It's gonna be rowdy, so I hope y'all are ready. It's gonna be church versus state and how it affects our society. And should we make laws because of our beliefs? Or should we make laws that should church and state be separate? But that's next week's topic, and we're going to get into it. We got some special guests to come up here, and we're going to talk about it. And then the following week is the 20th of September, and I'm just doing a Black History show. I don't want it just to be for the month of February. I'm doing a show just on Black history. We're going to recap some people that Black history that some people don't know about. We are going to talk about it. We are going to dig into our history, our culture. I love our history, our culture. So that's on the 20th. And then on the 27th of this month, we are going to talk about Christianity versus religion. Again, another topic that I know is going to bring all my people out. What's the difference between Christianity and religion, and how we work from there? But I thank you all for listening to me tonight. I have some things I need to do. Supreme, I'm going to text you about what we discussed. Also, again, if you all can go to Let's Grow with Yo-Yo on YouTube and subscribe and like, and go with my Facebook page, Grow with Yo-Yo, and like that. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you all. Have a blessed and wonderful evening. Bye-bye.